and welcome to the Ronline Report. This special report is a preview of the Vancouver Pro. Unfortunately, I will not be able to attend as I will be in Chicago covering the Chicago Pro for MD. Definitely be sure to follow along with all the play-by-play starting Friday morning at 9 a.m. Central. It's going on all day Friday, Saturday, and Vancouver Pro happening Saturday. We will have photo coverage, contest gallery posted. But it's got a pretty decent lineup, and I do want to go over that show and talk about some of the guys going in. My favorite to win the men's open in the Vancouver Pro, based on what he's done before and pictures. I've been following this guy, for years now. This is Alexis Rivera Rolon. He is from Puerto Rico. He is the only Puerto Rican citizen to ever win the overall at a pro qualifier, a United States, an NPC pro qualifier, which he did in 2014 when he won the Nationals, super heavyweight and overall. Interestingly, he has only competed twice as a pro, and both times were in 2016. He did very well. He did the California Pro, took 4th place. Then he took 2nd place at the Tampa Pro to Akim Williams, and that was Akim's first contest win. So he's no slouch. This guy has incredible mass, some of the biggest legs with the best outer sweep on them I've ever seen. Enormous arms, just a thick guy. He won nationals at 5'9", 238. He's put on at least 12, 15 pounds of quality muscle since then. You can check out his Instagram. It's IFBB Pro, all lowercase, _ Alexis Rivera. Alexis is just, wow. I'm gonna get him on a Ronline pretty soon to find out, what he's been up to, because I don't know why he hasn't competed more. He's got a phenomenal physique. Like I said, plenty of thick size, comes in peeled. And I've been following him along on social media. He has never gotten out of shape. He's been making improvements while staying very lean. And I'm curious to see how well he does. I do believe he's going to win. No offense to anybody else. And that'll hopefully give him his ticket to Olympia. And I'd like to see him on the Olympia stage just to see how he compares to the other guys there. Second guy I want to talk about, Manuel Romero. We tend to be pretty fickle in bodybuilding, us fans, even the media people. You're only as good as your last show or your last couple shows. So far this season, Manuel has disappointed, I'll be honest with you. New York Pro barely got into the top 15. He was 14th. California Pro didn't make it. Toronto, again, 13th. With him, it's really just a condition issue because Manuel has a really good physique. Let's not forget how well he's done in the past. 2014 at the Golden State Pro, he was 3rd place. That was a show won by William Bonac. 2015, he was 2nd at that same show, the Golden State Pro, to Cedric McMillan. And the Ferrigno Legacy last year, 5th place. When Manuel is in condition, he's definitely a contender. He's got a great structure, wide clavicles, narrow waist, nice shape, plenty of mass. It's really just condition, and it comes down to that. So we haven't seen him since Toronto a few weeks ago, and it's very safe to say he could have taken off the fat necessary to do much better this time. He's had time to take off. I'd say when I saw him in Toronto, I'd like to have seen him a good 10 to 15 pounds lighter and tighter, and I believe he could have accomplished that. So let's see what happens. You never know. Next guy, Canada's Ian Valliere, who is an honorary Bumstead, because he is, I don't know if they're engaged. I think they're engaged to Chris Bumstead's sister, Melissa. I know they've been together for a few years. And he trains with Chris. And like I said, I remember seeing pictures of him when he first turned pro. I believe it was 2015. I wasn't impressed. I said, this guy's nothing special. Needs a lot more size. Well, 2016, he did a couple shows in Canada. He did the Toronto Pro, took 7th. Did the Vancouver Pro, this show was 9th. And he realized he wasn't really ready to move up to the next level until he took some time off, made some improvements, put some good mass on while keeping his waist tight and everything. And he did exactly that. He took off 2017 season, did not compete, came back this year. And so far, we've only seen him once at the Indy Pro, but he was 4th place, a strong 4th place. More than a few people said. They could have had him 3rd or 2nd even. He was that good. You know, Ian's got a really nice, complete physique. He's not lacking anything. He's got really good mass, shape, size, and he was definitely peeled. So Ian's somebody, potential winner too. I'm not going to take anything away from the guy. Could definitely win a show like this. I believe his strongest competition is going to come from Alex Rivera Rolón. And I see it coming down to those two guys in the open. Next guy I want to talk about, last guy I'll talk about in the open is Josh Wade, who I just saw on Ronline. Really cool guy. He's the working man's bodybuilder. You know, he didn't have an easy road. He turned pro as a Masters. And typically, if you turn pro as a Masters, you're not destined to do very well in the open. Historically, no one really has. Until him. He's actually done very well. And if you look at his track record, considering he doesn't have the ideal shape, he knows his waist is wide, and it's not a big gut thing. It's just his structure, which, you know, we all have some structure, a bone structure we're born with, and that's what that's the framework we build on. There's nothing we can do about, you know, making our clavicles wider or more narrow. I mean, the bones are what they are. So Josh has done a really good job. He's packed on a ton of muscle onto his frame, and he's incredibly consistent with his conditioning. He just shows up peeled. He's one of the few guys. These other guys I talk about, I'm like, will they be in shape? Will they, you know, are they going to be in shape or not? He's one guy I don't have to question. I know he's going to be in shape. And I say working man's bodybuilder because a lot of times the guys without the best genetics, the best structure and shape, you know, they do work harder, and they definitely make sure they come in condition because they know they have to. They know they're going to, that's the only way they're going to pull ahead of a lot of the guys with the much more gifted shape and structure and all that, is they're going to come in peeled while those guys are going to be off for whatever reason. And he's going to beat a lot of those guys. And Josh has done that. He's beaten a lot of good guys with better genetics, guys who, had they been in shape, would have beaten Josh. But Josh came in shape and they didn't. So Josh has already had, you know, he only turned pro a couple years ago. And he's got five top five finishes. 2 of those were third place. He's done 8 pro shows so far. He's only been out of the top 6 once. That's pretty impressive for anybody, but, you know, given Josh's background and everything, much more so. 212. I'm going to talk about a couple guys, but let's start with the guy who's, not to take anything away from anybody, but this is clearly the favorite from Iran, is Hadi Choopan. Hadi seems to have a really tough time getting to the U.S. He was supposed to do the Olympia last year. There was talk about him doing the Arnold 212 this year. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's his issues getting a visa or it's Trump's travel bans that are stopping him. But for whatever reason, Hadi seems to have, he's not getting into the U.S. anytime soon. Hopefully that changes, because I'd love to see this guy on the Olympia stage. I'm sure all you guys would too. He's that good. I mean, let's look at how he's done so far. 2016. This is a guy that's 212 pounds, and people say, well, when he does open, he's probably like 230. No, he's not. It's actually been, Giles has talked about this on his show, Muscle News Weekly. Hadi does compete around 210, 212, regardless of whether he's doing open or 212. He's just so thick, has such dense muscularity that he gives the illusion of being much heavier, but he's not. 2016, he was second at, what show was it? It was a Cheru Classic to Rolly Winkler. So that's a big dude. You know, for a 212 guy to come second to Rolly Winkler. And then last fall, San Marino Pro, which Giles and Rosie were covering for us, he took second place in the Open again to Cedric McMillan. And that was a lineup of 26 guys. It wasn't a weak show by any means. So Hadi's that good. And he also took second last year at the, I'm sure if it's Asian or Korean Grand Prix. It was held in Korea. It was a 212 show following the Olympia, won by Flex Lewis. And Flex got a lot of heat from the Hadi supporters because they felt that Hadi should have won that show. You know, Hadi's, he doesn't have the prettiest physique, but it's not the worst physique either. He doesn't have a big gut. You know, he doesn't control it 100% of the time. You know, relaxes it and it looks like it's bigger, but he really doesn't have a gut. He's built like a brick shithouse, just thick, thick, thick. So much thick muscle packed onto his frame, Hadi. It's gonna be tough for anyone to beat him. But if anyone can beat him, it's this next guy. This is a guy that I've seen twice so far. Both shows he's done this season I was at, and I was very impressed with him. He is Mahmud Al-Durrah from Canada, grew up in Egypt. Interesting guy. Mahmud was a boxer that had a motorcycle accident, had to quit boxing. He's got a civil engineering degree, so he's a bright guy. He's actually world-renowned. He's a coach, works with many, many clients all over the world. And he was born on September 21st, 1986, 17 years exactly after me, also September 21st. Stephen King also sharing that birthday, so it's a good day to be born. But enough about the little trivia stuff. Mahmud's got a hell of a physique. He was 4th place at New York Pro. I could have had him higher for sure. 3rd place in Toronto behind Zane Watson and Cody Montgomery. And I said in my wrap-up, I would not have been surprised had he won. He's that good. You know, why didn't he win in Toronto? Sometimes the physiques are just, they're all so close. Honestly, they could have gone, I honestly think those top 3 could have gone any which way. That's how close they were. That's how good all 3 guys were, but they were all, had different looks to them. And Mahmud has a really nice shape and structure, a classic bodybuilding type of look to him. Plenty of muscle, came in great condition, excellent poser, really good at presentation, which I'm always impressed by. I like to see people that put the time and effort into presenting their physiques. You know, I know it's a lot of work, training and dieting, doing the cardio and all that, and a lot of guys think, well, that's enough. I shouldn't have to do tons and tons of posing practice on top of that. But guess what? You're a professional bodybuilder, so yeah, that's part of it. Presentation is a huge, huge part of what you do. It's how we see your physique, and he presents it very well. So Mahmud, I could see him giving Hadi a run for the money for sure. I don't think it's a lock for Hadi at all. Mahmud is very, very good. I would not be surprised if he beats him. But, you know, like I said, Hadi's a freak, and he comes in great condition, and it's tough to deny that much muscle when the shape and structure are good, and they come in shredded, which Hadi has a great track record of doing. And like I said, Hadi's done so well in the open classes as well, which is rare for a 212. That as a 212, it's hard to see anybody beating him. But we'll see what happens. Last guy I want to talk about in the 212 is Jacob Wilson from Texas. He's coached by my buddy Jose Raymond. Very interesting guy. Came into bodybuilding a little later in life, or competing, I should say. He's probably been training for his whole life. Does not need the sport per se. I believe he owns oil refineries or something like that. Something of that level. He does that well outside of bodybuilding, where this is his hobby and his passion, but he's also very good at it. I was at the USA last year in Vegas when he won the heavyweight class. Great condition, nice structure and shape. He's not a huge guy, but you know, he has very complete physique where you don't see anything lagging, nothing really stands out as overwhelming. Just a nice balanced, proportionate physique. He comes in peeled, and Jacob went on just like light heavyweight and overall winner Derek Lunsford at the USA. Both of them were at the Tampa Pro 1 week later. So 1 week after they turned pro, they both made their pro debut at the Tampa Pro, another Tim Gardner show, and they were 1 and 2. Derek won the 212 Pro division at that show, and Jacob was runner-up. Both of them looked phenomenal. So Jacob is definitely going to be in the mix. He just took second to Charles Dixon earlier this season at the Indy Pro. So yeah, Jacob's in the mix for sure. Classic physique, it's a lot of guys, but I'm only going to talk about one. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to call this classic physique show division to Henri Pierre Arnaud from Quebec, who is just switching over from open. And like, you know, Regan Grimes did it successfully, but I think this guy is more suited to classic than Regan for sure. So let's look at the tracker. I saw him last year at Tampa Pro, was very impressed by him. He took 3rd place in the open bodybuilding behind Jocelyn Artowitz and Max Charles. And the thing that impressed me the most about him was just the shape. Tiny little waist, flaring lats, real nice peaked biceps, just beautiful shape. The shape that you would expect to see on a classic physique competitor, more so than an open. And, you know, I remember thinking he was on the taller side and he needed to fill out, especially his wheels. I was really critical of his legs in my play-by-play, I remember. I'm a stickler for legs, as a lot of you guys might have figured out by now. So he was a little light there, but overall, just beautiful shape and an X frame. You know, everything flared out, wide shoulders, peaked biceps, sweeping tries, just that real pretty shape. Like I said, I recall thinking he really needs to put some mass on if he's going to beat these guys. But the fact that he did as well as he did in the open class, third place there, fourth place he was, in 2015 he was fourth place at the New York Pro behind Juan Morel, Victor Martinez, and Max Charles, guys who dwarfed him in terms of raw mass. But like I said, beautiful shape, beautiful presentation. And I don't know what he weighed then, but I'm guessing he didn't have to drop down much to make the cutoff for classic physique in the pros. He was probably there anyways, my guess, or very close to it. And I see this as a better fit for him. He's definitely going to be one of the taller guys in classic. If he wins this, which I told you I'm going out on a limb and predicting the win for this guy, and going to Olympia, it's going to be interesting seeing him next to a lot of the shorter guys like Breon. I want to say that Henri is about 6 foot, maybe 6'1". He's definitely on the taller side, but beautiful shape. Could definitely win this. I believe he's going to win this, and that's no disrespect to the other guys. We might see somebody else on that list that I'm not familiar with come in and take the show too. Who knows? But like I said, that's my call. So Vancouver Pro, we're going to have photo coverage. Contest gallery will be posted. You can check that out here on the site. I'll be in Chicago Friday and Saturday covering the Chicago Pro for MD. Please check out all our coverage. We're going to have my play-by-play. Jason Breeze is taking contest photos. Hector Mendoza is there shooting all kinds of video. We're going to grab lots of interviews for you guys. Some stage videos, hopefully. We'll see it. All the stuff that's going to go down this weekend. Lots of content coming down. So definitely check it out. That's been my brief preview of the Vancouver Pro. Hope you enjoyed it. And it's going to be a fun-packed pro bodybuilding weekend. Check it out. Talk to you later.